I may cuss, but I don't curse. Let's get that situated first. You already know the drill. So we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to get this out of the way for the Libra season. Shout out to all of the Libras, all of you who have had solar returns. Happy solar return to y'all. And for those of you who have upcoming solar returns, happy solar returns to y'all in advance as well. So what we're talking about, question, are our souls broken? According to the Libra season, the Libra edition. I'd have to say this is a great Libra season for me. I've been reminded of things that I should have probably been sooner reminded of, but I've decided to pay less attention to. Probably because I have a solar return in my seventh house this year, so I give myself a break. However, this recognition for this Libra season for me is largely based around my style, my Libra style being unorthodox because I'm a Pisces. So dealing with the solar zodiac, as God speaks to our souls as Pisces individuals, you can get some gain from this too as well if you're not a Pisces, by the way. But according to the reason why I call it unorthodox is because Libra is a public sign, right? So the public at large, you would expect Pisces to be more involved with the public at large. But again, even though we're a mysterious sign to begin with, this is not true for us when it comes to the zodiac wheel because Libra is the eighth house for Pisces people. So luckily I have Pluto natally inside of the sign of Libra, and therefore this transit with Pluto going direct in Aquarius as of recent really helps and really favors my positioning in the earth right now because it's trine. So things are going to get simpler, things are going to get easier. There's going to be more luck involved with things that I've prepared for already. So Pluto rules over preparation. And I realized while it was going retrograde that I got kind of like stagnant in my approach to certain stuff because I felt like I was forcing it, and I was right. Because after doing an assessment of myself and the relationships that I have, I realized like, yo, I've prepared a whole lot. I've prepared a whole lot, and the assessment showed me just how much that I did prepare, and I don't really have to do much at this point. There's still going to be work to do, of course, but forcing it is not part of the plan anymore because I've done so much work on myself in preparation for what is to come. So that is great with the transit, with the trine and everything like that. And with the sun actually conjunct my natal Pluto inside of Libra, this really brought focus and concentration to my relationships, in-depth relationships. So, like I said before, it's unorthodox to have the public sign in a secret house, Libra, inside of the eighth house, right? So this confirms for me even more. I've mentioned this in other videos before about Pisces. You know what I'm saying? Like, our purpose of getting into relationships is to share resources, is to have more in-depth interactions with each other, to explore, to unearth things that are secretive. It may even be traumatizing, or it may even be, just in depth, not your normal surface level, shallow, vain type of interactions. I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm lucky to have Pluto inside of Libra for that because I don't do flaky relationships. I just don't. And this was just another recognition of that. So relationships that I have had falling outs with and things of that nature, it's just due to that, and it ain't no shade. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The deeper I grow, the more, in order to be balanced in my relationships, I need that other person to grow in depth as well. It's not saying that I can't have fun, because let me tell you, you know what I'm saying? I'm lucky again to deal with Pisces people. There's a lot of sexually charged interactions that happen, and that's always fun. But again, not only that, also in-depth conversations about shared resources. So it's kind of like we're having the same type of conversation, or we can relate to the same things that we're speaking about during the transit because we're both Pisces, right? So conversations about that, and also just deep things in general, brought real clarity to the transit, brought real clarity to what is fulfilling in a relationship for Pisces. And especially a Pisces like me with Pluto and Libra natally anyway. So a lot of self-discovering of myself, a lot of regenerative power for myself. Pluto was a personal power planet, but with it being in Libra, with the sun there during this transit as well, it highlights how the balancing of relationships is necessary. You know, I don't do flaky, B. Like, I want you to win as much as I want me to win. And if I ever feel like there's a topsy-turvy experience with that, I think that's something that we could talk about, should talk about. And if it's just too unnerving to the other individual, then shall we part ways? You know, let's just do what we got to do that's best for the both of us. So that part, you know what I mean? But, you know, 8th house stuff, shared resources and stuff like that, those are tough conversations to have. Especially, you don't have to necessarily be sharing resources with the person that you're in a relationship with or talking to. It could be situations or relationships that they're in apart from you, to where there's a shared resource construct going on, and you got to go in depth to unearth that. And that can be, you know, you got to have a strong soul to deal with stuff like that. So I was thankful to have these conversations. I didn't converse a lot during Libra season, but the times that I did, like I said, they either highly sexually charged or in depth. I just did a tarot reading for my people in the membership and stuff like that, and because I just felt this urge to go in depth, and I think Pluto going direct had a lot to do with that. So this is something that I also realized, I've just been reminding myself of, is that I only want to talk to my people. You know what I'm saying? So I feel a more of a disgust or a disdain for social media sites, ones that are more social. Not like this is a lecture. This is more like education. This is more like, you know, doing what I do. But as far as like cliche social media sites where, you know, people are just talking to be talking or having opinions and stuff like that, like, that's not my thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just not my thing. And this highlighted that for me very much, like, because, you know, it's a relationship thing. And if you get pulled and tugged in a relationship based upon you wanting to be public, imagine how draining that is. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all can relate to that. Like, if you post something and then you get 100 comments on the post, you think about how much time and brain power that's put into that post. And, you know, was it gratifying? Was it fulfilling? I don't know. This is also a time where I've learned to be more watchful and cautious of my words, only because this is a time of real significant power. And with Pluto going inside of Aquarius, this is a notion to be more communicative in a network, right? So a personal power planet being in a group network, sometimes you can say things that are so honest and truthful that it may ruffle the feathers of someone else. So I've taken precautions in the way that I deliver my message because of that. And I really just want to, there's a lot of power in that, though. There's a lot of power in that. You know, they say talk is cheap. So the words that I choose to use, bars are nice. We know that already. You know, I just be more mindful of them when I'm using them for the purpose of power. I want powerful relationships. Powerful relationships. That's who I am natally. It's not something that I'm trying or I have a motive to be manipulative about this or anything. I have Pluto in Libra, which supports 50-50 in relationships. Yeah. That part. So I know some people probably cursing me out right now, like, oh, you want to go 50-50? Listen. I said what I said. But natally, for me, Libra's in my second house, so my self-evaluation is largely based on relationships. Despite how compromising that can be, it's me, it's who I am. So I'm not shying away from it. I've actually prepared, like I said, prepared for it. Like, I got my website back up and running now at the level that I wanted at. And now with doing that, I provided an outlet. I provided a platform to where I could do that more simpler with an expanded amount of friends and relationships, rather than perhaps sacrificing my energy or getting the shit end of the stick, if you will, for dealing with a one-on-one relationship to the point of, you know, they're not worthy of it. You know what I'm saying? And these words can sound harsh, right? Like, I just got finished saying, like, be more cautious of my wording. But like I said, I drew the Queen of Swords in the tarot reading that I just did, and it was just like, but the truth is necessary right now. So the best way that we could possibly state truth to people that we're in relationships with is primacy, and it's just going to make the relationship more powerful. Because if not, what else are we doing? At least for this season, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, Pluto's going to be in Aquarius for 20 years? So talk about preparation. Be prepared to, and this goes for everybody, not just Pisces, to seek for the power in the relationship, not just the power to wrestle with in the dynamic of the relationship. Oh, I need to overpower that one, or vice versa. It's more about the relationship. How powerful is this relationship? And that's what the focus and concentration is on for me. You know what I mean? So not only that, with Pluto going direct in Aquarius, that's my 12th house in the solar chart. So it really gives me the go ahead, the green light to be more behind the scenes and be more powerful behind the scenes, which I like to be because I got a 12th house stellium. You understand what I'm saying? So I could care less for the public. I'm not saying that in a haughty attitude. I'm just saying that because that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? I pop out because I have to find my tribe. My tribe needs me as well. So I'll pop out here and there, but for the most part, yeah, Pluto in Aquarius, the 12th house, this is going to be great times. You know, trining my Pluto in Libra natally, that part. So I hope this helps somebody, or it just like, you know, it was worthy of a basic conversation perhaps, and could give you some insight into what you may have been feeling or experiencing lately, Pisces people especially. But this is no shade to the other signs, especially Libras. Libra, you can learn a lot from this time as well. I'm pretty sure you have. And yeah, until next time, I'm out of here.